Hello and welcome to Editing with my wife, now with less clacking. I'm the Hooded Philosopher, and I'm here with Cheesy Loops. Cheesy Loops, what's this episode about?
This episode is about an unexpected fight scene.
Alright. Well then let's, why did I right click? That's the wrong keyboard.
Ooh. So, in
Recap.
Chapter 4, Alliances...
Sorry. I needed that. Continue.
Okay. In Chapter 4, Alliances, Nathaniel and the boy grow closer. Nathaniel, makes some chickens for the boy to hunt, and then they cook it and eat together.
And they try to communicate and learn each other's language.
Yes. Nathaniel does try to learn how to do hand signals.
I would think that they spent time together in order to do that.
Yeah.
That was what I was trying to get across before. Go ahead.
The boy gets a new face. Tresska shows a side of the shapeweed.
The masker.
The masker. Molding his face to look that of an older person. Draelynn shows off his fighting power to the Alliance to prove that he could be the one to fight in the ring. And Tresska shows off her many, many, many friends.
Many.
Well, part of her many, many, many friends.
And this one is Chapter 5, Trauma. Which should be capitalized with a space between the 5. Sheesh. This is not the right... This isn't right. Something's not right here. Alright, but on to Chapter 5.
Hooded's a little thrown off today because his keyboard doesn't clack.
Well, it clacks. It doesn't type. I spilled something on it.
We're gonna get it fixed, hopefully. Alright, Chapter 5, Trauma.
Hold on 1 second. Nathaniel walked out of the middle bedroom door. Nathaniel walked out of the middle bedroom door and encountered Marsec Officer Lucas. "Can I help you?" Nathaniel started. He brushed him off, going straight for the door. "Harboring a child? Are you mad?" Lucas shouted as he pulled out a small bead and threw it at Draelynn. Draelynn disappeared into the bead. He retrieved the bead and put it into his pouch. Nathaniel had some heartstring in his pocket and slipped it into his mouth. He made eye contact with Lucas, who acted like he wasn't there. He walked out of the room and into the next room. Nathaniel stood in the remnants of the hope he had. Walked out of the hallway. I need to fix that. 1 second.
No clacks.
Nathaniel stood in the remnants of the hope he had. Lucas eventually left the adjacent room and went back to the ladies downstairs. He questioned them. They said what they saw last night. A young man of 18 had some tea before they went to bed. Nathaniel stayed out of sight. The ladies were picking up after the officer had torn through it. When Nathaniel came down the stairs, Crane and Flynn were talking in the corner. Lola saw him first. Her eyes gave her away. Nathaniel walked up to her. "They have Draelynn. The other two got away somehow. Tresska and the boy are probably on their way to the Resistance hideout." Lola looked at his betrayed eyes. "They probably took Draelynn to the bead room." He looked to the other two. "Can you save them?" They looked back at him. Flynn smiled. Crane asked, "Can you fight 3 men blindfolded with your hands tied behind your back?" Nathaniel looked deep into Lola's guilty eyes. She said through gritted teeth, "I have Tresska's blood. I can do it." He looked back at Crane and Flynn. "Go save Draelynn. I need him." Lola looked down at her hands and then back up at Nathaniel. Nathaniel stopped her. "I forgive you. Lola, take me to the arena. Give me the ticket." Lola did what he asked, and when they got there, she disappeared. Nathaniel hoped to never see her again. He walked up to the gentleman behind the counter, handed him a ticket, and then was pushed beyond the gate. He had everything he needed on him. The flask from Thram, the courage from the boy, the strength from Tresska, and maybe a little luck from Draelynn. No one questioned why he was there. Anyone he met was helpful, but ultimately afraid of him. But he was used to it. The heartstring he pulled the heartstring it pulled on fear. He used it to be forgotten by weak-minded people too afraid to truly fight. For an hour or two, Nathaniel sat and waited with a knot in his stomach. Finally, after some time, he met the first of the people he was going to have to kill if he was going to succeed. "Why have you forfeited your life?" the man asked. He stood over 6 feet tall and was wearing imposing, handcrafted set of armor. Nathaniel stood, the heartstring still in his system to use. "Only one person has ever done it, you know. Tresska of Love, yeah, our great leader has been looking for her since then. He is obsessed," the man said, not showing any of the fear that Nathaniel was pumping into him with a heartstring. "I've been training with her for my whole life. She's my auntie," he said proudly. He smiled back. "A challenge, then." He walked forward and gave him a slap on the back. The man turned back. "Good luck, nephew of Tresska of Love." Type equation here. Why does it say that? I have no idea why it says that.
Wow.
It's Nathaniel. Nathaniel corrected. "Names are a matter for the living. Good luck fighting us. I'll try and make your death quick." The man left. And here comes a lot of talkings. A few minutes later, Nathaniel was greeted by a few people who came in and offered him a shower and a fresh change of clothes and a magic of his choice. Nathaniel turned them down. He wanted today to be over. Grimly, they obliged. He took a large swig of the arcane wine and soon found himself blindfolded with his hands tied behind his back. It's the best when they can actually fight. He recognized the voice and pinpointed it. To Nathaniel, that the man was in the middle, and the other. Oh my gosh! He recognized the voice and pinpointed it. To Nathaniel, that the man. Why does it say to Nathaniel? I don't know why it says to Nathaniel there, because it just should be pinpointed that the man was in the middle of the middle. That the man was in the middle, and the other two's feet moved on the dirt-covered floor. He took a full breath through his nose and felt the stuffy. He felt air. Oh man, the air felt stuffy. I wrote this. I should be able to read it. Where was I? I need to get a drink. That's where I was.
Hydrate.
He took a full breath through his nose. The air felt stuffy and smelled like there was a lot of clinging in its past. Maybe a better way of saying that. The arcane wine stretched out of him like ethereal tendrils. Nathaniel quietly and patiently undid the bindings around his wrists. The wine was emptying quickly from his veins. When he removed the blindfold, he saw his foes. He recognized the first and ran to the man on his left. quickly and painlessly snapped his neck. Then ran to the man on the other side. Nathaniel had his hands around his head when the ethereal glow shrank into himself and the arcane wine was out. The man had a moment to overpower Nathaniel, but he failed. Nathaniel snapped his neck too. The body fell to the floor in a thud. Nathaniel looked at him. "Are you going to live? If you're going to live, come at me with all you've got." Nathaniel took out the flask and got a quick sip in before he saw his opponent's hands. Before he saw it in his opponent's hands. He kindly put the lid back on and threw it to the ground behind him, saying, "No more of that." Nathaniel chose not to panic, following his training. What little he had left was for the final attack. Fire came out of the fire's mouth as he shouted, "Burn!" Nathaniel leapt aside, avoiding most of the heat, getting a burnt hole where his sleeve was. The fireball splashed against the metal walls. When he regained his orientation, his enemy was on top of him, thrusting a dagger down at him. Nathaniel got a cut for his instability. Nathaniel got a cut for his inability to get away in time. He looked closely at the dagger. It was ruined and active, meaning it had a power that he would like to avoid. The attempt to dodge him got him one step closer to his flask. He took advantage of the chance, and in the blink of an eye, he had the flask in his mouth, getting a bigger taste. As soon as he got the flask up to his lips, though, the man had held it, translocating it with a vial of mind. I don't know why I say that. I'm gonna just
fix it.
I don't know. This feels like it's been. I should just be the man held it. This is getting tiresome, he said, putting the cap back on nicely. It disappeared. I would hate to waste such a glorious amount of arcane liquor. If you can stop me, you get it back. If not, I have a trophy. He let out a loud laugh. In a burst of arcane speed, Nathaniel had his hands around a handful of substances from the fallen men. Vial of mind, powder of creation, and mushrooms. Nathaniel eschewed the vial of mind, throwing it at the man. With the other hand, he put the powder and the mushrooms in his mouth. The power flowed through him. Before he could react, the man had his dagger against Nathaniel's throat. He couldn't move. The man stopped. Did you shit your pants? He said in astonishment. Nathaniel laughed. Just a trick of the smell to make you hesitate so my friend here can get behind you. A loud roar came out from behind him as a monster appeared and running at the man, tackling him to the ground. The dagger clanked to the ground right in front of Nathaniel as a heavy creature began chewing on his opponent's shoulder. He screamed in pain. His dagger came around to meet the beast, forgetting about Nathaniel for just a moment. He ran the dagger into the monster's side. It roared in defiance until the dagger transformed into a large claymore. The beast slumped over in agony. Nathaniel took advantage of the moment, jumping onto the man's back. You've been too kind to me, he said as the claymore exited the beast, sliding right up near Nathaniel's face. The man stood, spreading his arms wide. It made it hard for Nathaniel to stay on his back, but he held, taking advantage of his motion to get his arms around the man's throat. I like you. I don't want to kill you. I don't want you to die, he said as the man began to back up and slam him against the metal wall. Nathaniel held tight. He heard a crack from his back. His arms did not give. The man was trying to scream. Thank you for the challenge, Nathaniel said as the man began to lose consciousness. He collapsed to the floor. 3 people appeared in the room as Nathaniel himself lost consciousness, joining his opponent in the oblivion. A healing light came out of them. They put their hands on him and all his wounds disappeared. He was teleported to a magnificent bedroom. Pillows and fine linens held the room together. A table nearby with every kind of magical substance, as well as food. It all looked so inviting. He sat and began eating. A short man with a puffed up chest came into the room with him. What? Why would he be with... I don't know why he said that. I just came into the room. That was a most impressive fight I've seen in a while. I must admit, watching those 3 toy with their prey was getting tiresome. Are you ready for a life in the arena? He asked. Nathaniel put down what he was eating and stood up. I want an audience with Grolok the Thundering. I do not wish to fight or kill anyone. To me, this arena is a tragedy. I'm Slat, the owner of this arena here, and I will honor our promise. I will have means of transport set up for tomorrow. Take time and be ready to fight tomorrow. You will need to kill someone to be granted an audience with Lord Grolok. He bowed and walked out of the room, disappointed. Lola walked in next, a look of contrition on her face. Tresska spoke to me. She will be waiting for your signal in the Lord's arena. Thank you, Lola, he said morosely. Tell them I love them. Nathaniel, please, Nathaniel the Noble, I have seen you held your title with great care. I cannot say the same for those I betrayed you to. She was crying. When you see Tresska, tell her the truth. The whole truth. If you do, you may regain my trust. He told her, Tresska of love proudly shining through his voice. I'll do it. You have proven to me that trust should be placed carefully. I hope to never let you down again. Her voice was fervent. She left Nathaniel to his coming nightmares. Nathaniel did not sleep well. The death of 2 men on his conscience and the 3rd on its way made it hard to rest.
Bum, bum. Thus the fight we were not expecting.
Because it was your
Draelynn.
But
okay, so a couple of notes I wrote down. I know this is a Nathaniel-focused chapter, but at one point you say, Nathaniel. Okay, so there's 3 Nathaniels in one sentence. Whew. And the amount of well, not one sentence, but like in the same breath.
Yeah,
with no words in between.
I think I also say several words just too close together.
Well, you also, I think it's like every other sentence there's a Nathaniel or a him. So I think maybe...
The problem is that
Outside of editing.
I didn't name that character for a reason, and then I forgot about him. So he doesn't come back up. So he's just a nameless dude, but I mean, or something could come up later in the chapter. I'm like, well, maybe he could step in. We could just get this guy to come back and honor his, because Nathaniel let him live. Mm-hmm. He had every right to kill him. All you got to do is win, but you can't win against 3 people who are out to kill you. Mm-hmm. You can win one person over if it's just him. Yeah, I think. But if you got 3 people, you're screwed. So you got to take 2 of them. He didn't want to do it.
Yeah. So, Auntie.
I like that. I think Nathaniel doesn't care what this man thinks. I think he's pumping fear into this guy. He can say whatever he wants. And the fact that he's using it so flippantly to this aggressive male makes him more terrifying, I think. Like, she's my auntie. You know, like the thing I value is a soft thing, and I'm not scared of you, and you're scared of me, and I know it.
Okay. That
kind of feeling, like messing with him. They're trying to instill that fear a little deeper.
Okay.
Unless you think it needs to be changed. I mean,
it's my aunt, or just something that simple. Auntie seems a little small.
That's the point, though, right? Because he's trying to psych his enemy out.
Yeah.
Make him think he's a weak thing. He's not being serious either. He's kind of playfully saying it, just like the other guy. They're just talking. They just wanted to get to know him.
Okay.
But he never came back, so maybe he'll come back, though. Let me know in the comments below if you think this character should show up later in the series. I have no reason not to write it in before we end.
It's true.
I'm more than happy to listen to it.
So you struggled at one point. You're like, this needs to be fixed. You can say that the room smelled of metal and blood.
Oh, the clanging.
Yeah. Smell of metal and blood of the past.
The past fights, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that? That's way lower.
Nope, it's way...
I thought it was at the top.
Hold on.
Right here.
Up.
He's not in there yet? Yeah, he's not in there yet. Now he's in there.
There you go.
I think I need to break this up a little better. Yeah, it smelled like there was a lot of clanging in its past.
So why don't you just say smelled of blood and iron? But the past. So you want to get that idea that he can smell the past in it, didn't you?
Smell the past?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It has something to do with something.
The arcane wine,
Mm-hmm.
kind of the effect I gave out was like tendrils of light, and he can move quickly. Mm-hmm. Which, if you can move faster than somebody else, then you can be there in a shorter amount of time, and you can do more with your life, right? Okay. But the wine isn't as commonplace as you think.
Okay, and then you need to change 2 words in here to nature's vision.
Because it's right here. Some mushrooms, which is called nature's vision. So he grabbed mushrooms and powder. Mm-hmm. What did those 2 things do for him?
I know powder of creation probably summoned the beast.
Yes.
And the nature's vision, made it smell like he poopied in his pants.
Is that too blue?
No.
Okay, it's just sudden, right? Yeah. You're in the middle of an intense fight, and then all of a sudden, shit pants. What?
Yeah. I thought that was
okay. Good.
And it does. It does exactly what Nathaniel wants, which is
catch him off guard.
Catch him off guard,
and go fast.
What is going on? Mm-hmm. No, I like that. So yeah, change those nature's visions.
Yeah, what was the other one?
With the other hand, he put the powder and nature's vision in his mouth. Down to the next line. There you go. Right. Nope, too fast. Right there.
There's not enough clacks. I can't tell how far I've gone because I don't know how many clacks.
He has no clacks, guys. He has no clacks. Nature's vision. I think most of it is not too bad.
The fight. Does it get illegible? Like, unable to really tell what's going on?
Yes, it can.
We need to find those, because I was seeing that there's possibility for it, but there is a way. The way I'm saying it maybe just be confusing.
Okay, so real quick,
So the way the fight goes is he's standing on one side of the arena, and there are 3 men. He's blindfolded, and he hears the rustling of the men on the dirt and metal, and he hears the voice of the man directly in front of him. So he's aware of kind of where everything is, and then he activates his blood once he hears the signal and the arcane wine, and he very quickly wriggles out of in a blink of an eye. He's out of the wrists.
Out of his own capabilities?
Yes. Just zip. Like, he can move fast, so he just wiggles out. It's not well bound.
Right.
And he wiggles out and then takes his blindfold off and sees the group. Now, he's running low on the wine, and so he goes around back and he kills the first guy, and he doesn't want to kill the middle guy because he talked to the middle guy. So he goes around here and knocks this guy out because he doesn't know who that guy is. Makes it easier on him. And then he gets into the fight with the guy. The guy, he goes to take another swig, and the guy realizes it and teleports it into his hand.
I think that was absolutely great.
And I don't want this, but he's respectful about it because it's a nice looking flask, so he puts it down.
Well, not only is it a nice looking flask, but I feel like even if he can't use arcane liquor, it is valuable. And to waste any of it is their money system.
Oh, he just tosses it aside. It is, yeah. He just tosses it aside, so he can pick it up later.
Yes.
And then he had some in him, right? So he's saving that, and the enemy lets out fire, and he rolls out of the way. The sleeve catches it, gets burned in the process. And then in that moment,
he's a little closer.
He's a little closer to the flask, and the enemy comes at him directly.
Yes.
And
he does another dodge.
Did he dodge out again? Yes, but he wasn't fast enough this time, so he got cut.
Yes.
And landed near the flask, picked it up, went to take a drink, and got a little bit in there and teleported away again. And this time out of his place. And he explains, I was like, it's my prize. If you win, you can have it, you know?
Yeah.
And
but now he's close enough to the other's cache of substances and
and he just snatches some with his power real quick and gets 2 things that he thinks will help him in the fight. And he throws the vial of mind because Nathaniel, with a vial of mind, ports him home. That's what his power is. So he has no intention of using that, and he throws it at the enemy because he's been using it the whole time with the teleportation of the item.
Yeah.
And then pops those into his mouth, and the enemy gets onto him. Has a knife around his neck, and he shits his pants. And it makes it smell like he shit his pants. He doesn't actually do it.
No.
And then the enemy gets disillusioned for a second from combat because this is weird. And a beast comes out from behind and attacks him because he summoned it.
Yes.
Because with Powder of Creation, Nathaniel can summon beasts.
That part of the fight seems just fine.
The Beastmaster. And then this is where the confusion might lay the most. Because the dagger has runes. And when he stabs it into the beast, he activates the runes and it turns into a really big sword.
Yes.
And so he's got the beast on him and he goes like that, and the dagger, I'm doing this. So the beast is on his chest now, in my head.
Yes.
And he hits the dagger into the beast's side, kind of up towards the face, activates the rune, and the blade comes out of his head. And then Nathaniel jumps on his back, and then the blade recedes across his face.
Yes.
In a way, as he pulls it out, and then I don't think it ever comes back.
No, it doesn't.
No, because it fell to the ground.
Yeah.
The dagger clanked to the ground right in front of Nathaniel. So he tackles him.
And Nathaniel basically chokeholds him out.
Yes, just gets on his back. He's like stretching out, trying to get him off, and all that wiggling just made it easier for him to get his arms around his neck until he passes out, not wanting to kill him.
Yeah.
So it is clear. Good. You see all that in the words. Is there anywhere you'd?
I think that I didn't quite get that the dagger was retracting.
I think he was taking it out. No, but it must have been retracting because it clanked at the ground. It was a dagger. So where is that? That's a good point.
Down. As the claymore exited the beast, sliding right up near Nathaniel's face. The man stood, spreading his arms wide. So the claymore has exited the beast and sliding near Nathaniel's face. So there's no... But then it's a dagger again. When it clinks to the ground, does it?
Yes, yes.
I don't see it clinking to the ground. Lack of clack.
Returned. Ooh, as the claymore became a dagger.
Reverted to its...
Reverted, that's the word I'm looking for.
Clack. Clack, 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 clack. I'm his clacker. Clack, clack, clack. Exited the beast, sliding right up near Nathaniel's face. Beautiful. Where did it clack to the ground, though? Where do you see it?
Right.
Oh, I'm not doing your clacks right. Clack.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see where it falls to the ground. Nope.
That was before it became a claymore. Right? Yeah. Right.
No, it never hits the ground.
Oh, and then he picked it back up so he could stab it into the enemy. Okay.
Okay.
Because the creature came up and attacked him from behind, which knocked all of them to the ground, putting the dagger clanking in front of him. So it wasn't around his neck. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. That was a different clanking, but it was still justifiable.
Yeah. No. Now this makes more sense.
Okay. Yeah, that retraction was what we were missing.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like the lightsaber, but just metal. Go extendo dagger.
Something he could have had him right there if he just extended it when it was in front of Nathaniel's neck.
I think this guy liked fighting Nathaniel.
Yeah. Or maybe he just wanted to die. Wanted to lose. And this guy could do it. Who knows?
I think it was a fun fight for him. He was like... Nathaniel keeps trying to grab the...
Yeah, the person who's best at something usually seems to be the person who doesn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's I think what you're getting at. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I think the guy's having fun fighting Nathaniel.
Yeah, exactly. He's having fun because Nathaniel doesn't want to do it. Uh-huh. That's why it's fun for him. Because the person who's best at it is the person who doesn't want to do it. That's the philosopher king, Aristotle's philosopher king.
I see.
The person who should be in charge is clearly the person who doesn't want to do it because he knows the power he holds. Yeah. And he doesn't want to use that power because he knows what it means and how it affects people. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't want to just blindly go around trumpeting it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad that he says, I do not wish to fight or kill anyone. Mm-hmm. And then he has to do one more fight.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. He doesn't have to kill him. We'll see.
I mean, be ready.
The story hasn't started.
Take the time to be ready to fight tomorrow. You will need to kill to be granted an audience.
You thought this was going to be Draelynn.
This is true.
We'll see what happens in the chapter. Uh-huh. The story unfolds differently than you expect most of the time. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the goal.
Yeah. No, this is a fun chapter. I like it.
And see, here I brought Lola back in.
Yes.
To kind of explain that she did do it, and now she's sorry. She didn't mean to... something wasn't right, you know? She just needed to fix it.
She was a little young.
Yes.
For the book club. It feels like.
She went to the school, which is why she would report to the Marsec and the adults wouldn't have. She was trained to do that as a child.
Yeah, but you would expect that some of the resistance did go to the school.
Yeah. In fact, one of the characters from the Resistance is a student of the school.
It's never been said, does Nathaniel go to the school? No.
That's Tresska raised him.
Oh,
that's how he can kill two people in an instant. He can't just use the arcane wine like that. You have to train with it.
I see.
Just like every other drug. Draelynn doesn't need to. If he were using arcane wine, he could do this.
Yeah, but
he does that with the stone here. And it's way more awesome.
Draelynn has understanding of magic that most people don't. So
Draelynn with his power causes new geological formations on the face of the planet with his power multiple times. he has power. And if he had the arcane wine, he would be able to do it for longer. He would have been able just to crush them. The metal in that room, he would have been using that to kill them if it was Draelynn.
Hey.
Draelynn's a monster powerhouse. But Nathaniel can do his own thing. He's a badass too.
Yeah.
And hopefully show everyone's a badass. That was my point, I think. They're all just awesome people doing awesome things.
Right.
And they're all being good. Good standing by good.
This recap is going to be funky.
Why?
Because the 3 other characters... Hey. That's it. We're there.
Yes. My brain was not.
Your brain is broken. It's Nathaniel gets into a fight.
Well, it doesn't have to be Nathaniel first, right? Because what if we went like this?
Oh, Hooded's changing it up again. Tresska and the boy are gone. Yes. Draelynn is a bead. He's part of jewelry. Nathaniel is forced to fight. And then you can make your 4th one is Lola learns a valuable lesson. Will Lola come back up?
No, in Treska's chapter, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But she kind of stays in the town.
Yeah. They are not ones.
There's no I in lesson. That's leisure. That's lesson. Jeez.
Lesson.
I just cannot get.
I'm
this.
not doing your clacks. That's
Okay.
You don't have your.
I don't
clacks.
see. I don't have them, but you aren't doing them the same way as the clack normally do.
Clack. 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 Clack.
Oh, my clacks are ahead of me. Okay.
Your clacks can tell the future.
Yeah, it doesn't. If the characters are gone, because that's going to happen on occasion, especially in that short the boy chapter, which maybe we'll pad up a little bit in some way.
I think we can, yeah.
But there's also other characters in the story, and they can show up into this thing. But I guess that's what we're getting at, is that it'd be best if there was characters and what they're doing in the chapter, rather than just the event that's happening. That's it. Thanks for watching.
Have a good day.
Wait, do we have a question we want to ask?
Oh, a question we want to ask.
Should that character come back? That's a great question.
That
isn't
is
it?
a great question.
Did you like the way he was written? Did you want to see a more aggressive person that's a little more loose with his morals? Is that interesting? And if so, what would you want to see there? Maybe you can inspire me. Thanks for watching.
Have a good day.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Like, comment, subscribe.